The movie starts in an orphanage home on a stormy night, when a boy wakes up to the frightening sound of thunder and lightning. He gets out of his bed and rushes to the kitchen, only to be terrified by a shadow of an old man. Next, they're seated in a lounge room, and the old man, whose name is Remi, starts telling a story about his childhood. As the old man narrates the story, the movie shifts to a small French village named Chavanon, where Remi lives with his mother. His father Jerome works in Paris. Remi has a cow named Rosette, whom he loves the most. The boy is living happily with his mother, but difficulties soon arrive when they get a letter from the father. Jerome has had an accident at work and was sued. In order to pay the lawsuit money, Remi's mother has to send all of their savings and even sell Remi's cow Rosette, the main source of income. Remi is devastated to let go of his cow to a cruel neighbor who often tortures Rosette. Thus, he visits her every night at the neighbor's shed. One night, Remi is caught by his neighbor, so he immediately rushes to his home. When he arrives, he sees that his father Jerome has unexpectedly returned from Paris. Jerome is bitter and penniless, having lost his trial. Additionally, he isn't happy to see the boy. He starts to scold his wife for still keeping the boy at their house, as he's now become too much of a burden, considering their financial situation. Jerome insists they give Remi to the orphanage. From their conversation, we realize that Remi is a foundling, someone who was abandoned by their parents as an infant. Later, Remi's mother tells him his backstory. 10 years ago, Jerome was on his way to work in Paris when he saw an infant at the church door. The infant was wearing very fine clothes, so Jerome guessed that his parents are rich. He then decided to take care of the child, hoping to get a good reward afterward. He took the child home to his wife and named him Remi. The mother adds that they still have Remi's blanket that they found alongside him, hoping that his biological parents will be able to identify him with it. Remi is scared as he doesn't want to go to the orphanage. His adoptive mother tells him that she won't let that happen. The following day, Remi wakes up to the good news that his adoptive parents have decided to go to the town hall and ask the mayor for money for having raised Remi this whole time. This way, they can get the finances they need and Remi doesn't have to go to the orphanage. Elated, Remi leaves with Jerome to go to the town hall. But to his surprise, they are not going to meet the mayor. Jerome had lied to his wife about the town hall so that she would let him take Remi away. Realizing that he's being taken to the orphanage, Remi runs away. Jerome insists the whole town chase the little boy until they end up in a bar. The commotion is interrupted by a traveling artist, Vitalis, and his troupe, consisting of a performing dog named Cappy and a monkey called Lovely Heart. When Vitalis learns of Remi's situation, he offers to rent the boy for a year with Jerome. Desperate for money, Jerome gladly agrees with the arrangement. The movie shifts back to the present, where the old Remi is surrounded by more children who are interested in hearing his story. In the next scene, Remi leaves his childhood home without even a chance to say goodbye to his foster mother, who would have done anything to prevent the transaction, and starts a journey on the roads of France. Vitalis is a kind man, certainly better company than Jerome, and teaches Remi to sing, play the harp, and read as well. Once he's able to write, Remi begins sending letters to his foster mother, detailing his life on the road. Remi also learns that Vitalis used to be a great violinist back in his days. As time passes, the pair goes on to perform among aristocracies. One day, they get a chance to perform at a small river ship on the occasion of the owner's daughter's birthday. There, Remi meets with Lise, the daughter. Lise has a rare condition of coxalgia, because of which she's wheelchair-bound. The two kids quickly form a bond, and Lise's mother is happy that her daughter finally has someone to play with. But soon, the local police arrest Vitalis for making the animals perform, which is against the city's laws. Vitalis is taken away while Remi continues to stay at Lise's. While Vitalis is away at the prison, Remi and Lise's friendship grows deeper as the little boy becomes the main source of support for the sick girl. Remi also shares his backstory with Lise, showing her the blanket he was wrapped in when his foster father found him as an infant. Vitalis finally returns one day, and Remi immediately gets off the riverboat to give him a tight hug. Vitalis is invited for lunch by Lise's mother, who tells him that she wants to keep Remi. The little boy can be a personal butler to her daughter. Hearing this, Vitalis understands that it would give him a stable life for Remi, but he wants the little boy to explore more about the world. Regardless, he tells Lise's mother that it's Remi's choice to stay or leave with him. As expected, Remi decides to leave with his master, but bids a painful farewell to Lise. He promises that he will visit her soon. In the next scene, we see Vitalis and his troupe exploring France as they sing, dance, and perform to fend for themselves. However, tragedy soon arrives, when one night they're attacked by wolves in the woods. Lovely Heart is fatally injured, so they spend the night at an inn nearby. The doctor says that the monkey doesn't have much time left to live. He also diagnoses Vitalis with tuberculosis, as he has been coughing blood throughout the journey. But the old man doesn't reveal the illness to Remi. Since they do not have enough money to pay for the room and treat Lovely Heart, Vitalis decides to put on a show, hoping that the hotel guests will give them a reward. Later that evening, as the guests are seated for the show, Vitalis plays a violin and unveils his exceptional skill. He is proudly applauded by his audience and is also able to gather some money. As Vitalis and Remi are collecting their silver shillings, a young woman approaches them. She tells Vitalis that his performance was similar to a show she attended as a child, where a renowned violinist performed. Realizing that the woman might have guessed his true identity, Vitalis tells her that he's just a mere performer who's picked up some skills from famous people. Although the woman doesn't seem to believe his words, she leaves a gold coin for them. Remi is more than excited to have received the gold coin and goes to his room upstairs to show it to Lovely Heart. Sadly, the monkey has already succumbed to his illness. Remi, Vitalis, and Capi prepare to leave the inn when they get a letter addressed to Remi. It's a letter by Lise, who wrote to inform that her mother identified Remi's blanket cloth. The material is only owned by the aristocracies of London, so she sent letters to her friends hoping to find Remi's parents. A barrister named James Milligan replied back, stating that he knows Remi's parents. Remi jumps in joy when he finishes reading the letter. Wasting no time, he, his master, and Capi set out to meet James Milligan. In the next scene, we see that our heroes are seated in a meeting with the barrister, who examines Remi's blanket cloth and confirms that he is indeed the child he was looking for. James informs Remi and Vitalis that Remi is the long-lost son of the Dorsel family. The barrister then takes the pair to Remi's supposed family home. There, Remi meets with his parents, who are overjoyed to see him. Later, the Dorsels reveal that Remi was taken away as an infant by a woman who wanted to take revenge on them. Apparently, Mr. Dorsel was having an affair with the woman, but when she found out that he was married and his wife was expecting a child, she set up an evil plan to take away their baby. Vitalis isn't very convinced of the story, as he knows that Remi's foster father had made it clear he had seen a man leaving the infant in a casket, not a woman. Mr. Dorsel remains silent for a while, but James fills in, saying that the man could be an accomplice. Vitalis and Remi then bid a bitter farewell to each other. Before he's attended by James's carriage, the barrister provides some money to Vitalis for caring for Remi all this time. Once his master is gone, Remi runs upstairs to his bed and weeps bitterly. He wakes up in the middle of the night as water drips from the ceiling. He takes a lantern and goes outside